Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
There is no one on this earth that is going to be able to convince me that my son is a woman.
It's not about that. It's about how you use his sexuality to condemn him. That's not okay.
JB's is not saying she is a woman. She's saying that she is transgender.
I don't even know who you're talking about, because when you say she, who is she? His name is Javian, and he is a male, so he.
Will she accept her son?
I don't want your approval.
You'll never have it.
I don't need it.
You won't get it, sir.
As a transgender woman?
You want to force me to believe that the son that I gave birth to is a woman.
That's not.
Excuse me, I'm not done.
Well, you have to be done at some point. You have to let someone else speak. Let's do it.
Look at show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Over 50 terms used to describe gender identity, including cisgender, non-binary, pangender, and intergender. An entire generation is familiar with them all. But some parents, however, are still scratching their heads in confusion. Now, Angela wrote to me because she says she's having issues with her son, who identifies as gender fluid. Now, Mom is a staunch conservative commentator and even ran for the late and legendary Congressman John Lewis's seat in Georgia. So Angela says she is not happy with her son's new identity and says when he comes to her house, he should dress like a man. But JB's wants to dress as a woman and says her biggest struggle is dealing with a Jekyll and Hyde mother who continues to promote bigoted ideas on social media and says she's just doing it to attract followers. Take a look.
Javian lives his life as a female. Javian goes by JB's online. I gave birth to him. I wrote his name down on the birth certificate. His name is Javian. I told him not to come around me dressed as a woman.
I had a collection of Barbie dolls, and my mom found them up under my bed, and she threw them all away.
One of the biggest things that I have an issue with is him being kind of provocative. I've seen him twerking. I've seen some videos that I thought were very unbecoming. I feel as though he doesn't have to stoop that low in order to get attention online. This new persona that he has just gives off sassy, ratchet, angry black woman, and I'm just not digging it. I've seen videos of him just acting like a stripper. He's better than that. We have physically fought. We've had a lot of verbal altercations. It can get really heated because Javian can get really disrespectful. I've said some things to him that I regret, like you should have been aborted. I have said to him, don't catch AIDS and die. Now, he tried to make it seem as if I said catch AIDS and die. That's not the case. I'm telling him, do not catch AIDS and die. I actually told him to move out because Javian has had an issue when it comes to schooling. Just about every school that he has been to, he's been expelled from for behavior issues. So we were on our last straw. If Javian decided to have a sex change and present himself as a woman, I will always, until the day I die, recognize Javian as my son. So I'm hoping old Doc got the answer, because I don't have it, but I'm searching for it.
Well, Angela, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Dr. Phil.
What is your concern?
I'm very concerned that with his behavior and him identifying with as a woman, that it could lead to dismemberment.
Your child was born with male genitalia, and so you say that's the definition, and that's not going to change. And so all of this other that is being experienced is just a mental illness or a delusion or a distortion, or what is it? What do you think?
I just recently got my bachelor's in psychology, and I have been taught that it's gender dysphoria. I do believe that it may be a form of mental illness. It's not just that he was born male. I mean, he is a male. He was born with male parts. He is a male. And I'm just not going to feed into the delusion that a man is a woman.
You know, Cleveland Clinic did a study on transgender brains. And when they did the study, they found that the brain of transgender people, their brain is actually more similar to the gender they identify with than the gender that they were assigned at birth. I mean, it's an actual brain difference.
Okay, but I don't think, and I think that that's a mental health issue. I could
well, no,
say
that's a neurological fact.
Okay, and I could say that I identify as a rich white woman right here on your stage, and I'm not white. So identifying as something is totally different, right, from what's actually factual. I think that this is something that's just being pushed as an agenda.
There are 50 years of empirical evidence here, and there are distinct differences in the transgender brain versus the non-transgender brain. So are you asking him to ignore that, to ignore his brain and what filter the world runs through for him?
Well, regardless of the brain, the body there are only two bodies. You've got a male body or you have a female body. You have male genitalia or you have female genitalia. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in our brain, but
and
even
part of that body is the brain, right?
Yeah.
And JB's brain is telling all of the sensations, all of the experiences that the filters that this is a female experience.
But he is not a female.
If the brain is filtering things in such a way that that's the fit, then what should JB say?
Here's the thing. Javian is an adult now, right? And I think that Javian is able to make his own decisions. But as a parent, there is no one on this earth that is going to be able to convince me that my son is a woman. It's just impossible. I don't believe that because someone says that they believe this is who they are in their mind, that makes their body just automatically adjust. So I think that when we talk about science and we talk about nature and we talk about what's logical, for me as a mother, I'm just not willing to accept. And it's also a disrespect to women.
Well, but what you're saying is looking at just from your point of view. It's like you're asleep at night and a child comes and wakes you up and says, can I have a drink of water? And you say, well, I'm not thirsty, go back to bed.
No,
you're looking at it from strictly your point of view.
I'm looking at it from common sense. Common sense is that a man is not a woman. It's just not. It's no way you can slice it. And I respect you as a doctor, but a man is not a woman.
But your child is not saying that there's not a difference between men and women. Your child is saying transgender is the reality. Your child is not saying that she is a woman. She's saying that she is transgender.
I don't even know who you're talking about, because when you say she, who is she?
JB's.
Javian. His birth certificate, I named him. His name is Javian.
Well,
and he is a male, so he.
Well, she refers to herself as JB's.
And me, his mother, I refer to him as Javian.
I understand that.
Okay.
Well, coming up, Angela hasn't spoken to or seen the child that she insists on calling Javian. So JB's refers to self as she. Javian, mom refers to as he. They've not seen each other in over a month. They're going to meet face to face right after the break.
I like long hair, I like pretty lashes, I like things that come in pink. I just like pretty things. I think it bothered my mom that my entire life I was different. Angela pushes her conservative agenda down everybody's throat.
And later,
some of the things you have said to me are hateful.
You're living a promiscuous lifestyle.
I hope you burn in hell.
Yeah.
When I said that?
She said you're gonna burn in hell.
When did I say that?
Several times. I have the text messages.
Tomorrow.
Tasha, how do you feel about being here today?
I'm happy.
The relationship.
He's threatened to kill you with a shotgun.
He even held up the shotgun barrel and said, "This has your name on it."
The rage.
Your behavior's outrageous.
Wish you go 50 years ago, Rick, I'd beat you to death.
If he's withholding something, if he's masking something, what is it? Tell him.
Anger. I think he's angry at me a little bit right now.
That's tomorrow. Then on Wednesday.
You allowed her to go to bed at night thinking my mother has terminal cancer when in fact you are cancer-free.
You're disgusting.
That's Wednesday.
I absolutely have never been ashamed to say that I fully 100% supported President Donald J. Trump.
Angela Stanton King. Thank you.
Angela being a black woman supporting Donald Trump is a joke. It's hilarious. I 100% believe that Angela thrives off of the attention. I think Angela is treated as a token, as a Trump supporter, because it's just like, oh my God, well, look at this one black woman who supports Trump.
Angela says her child JB's, who she says is Javian, is manipulating the family into thinking she's the bad one. Well, here's what JB's has to say.
I don't think my mother is very accepting of me or my lifestyle. I would technically identify under the queer or questioning. The Q can kind of go both ways. As long as I can remember, I've always been called like gay or like queer or like a or stuff like that. I didn't want to play sports. I wanted to play with Barbies. I like long hair. I like pretty lashes. I like things that come in pink. I just like pretty things. I think it bothered my mom that my entire life I was different. I think my mother is a huge bigot. If it's not Angela's way, it's just completely wrong. Angela pushes her conservative agenda down everybody's throat. She wants to choke people on her beliefs. If you're not agreeing with what she agrees with, then your opinion doesn't matter. My mom has called me the worst of the worst. You're going to hell, you're gonna die of AIDS. She can be extremely intolerant to other people's opinions and how they feel. And even on her social media, she's showcased her bigoted ways very clearly. I actually have turned me being a live streamer into a very lucrative 6-figure career. I'm pretty sure Angela probably is ashamed of me, but I don't care. I'm ashamed of a lot of the things she does as well. We're probably an embarrassment to each other. Hi,
Hello, how are you? Have a seat. Your mother and I have had some difference of opinion already.
I can probably guess what she said.
Yeah. Now, you say that sometimes your mother is supportive of you. She says things to you that are supportive, but then she reverses her field and doesn't behave that way, and has made really negative tweets and statements publicly. Yeah,
it's very up and down, up and down. Like one day it's, I love you and I'm not gonna hurt you no more. And then the next day it's the random tweets or you see me dressed up. I've been, playing in makeup since I was like 13. This isn't anything new, so.
Well, some of the tweets that you've posted, you said, if you want a little boy to look like a woman, you might just be a pedophile and don't know it.
It's because there's a trending thing online that says boys can be princesses too. And in this thing, you see little boys dressed up as grown women. They've got on gowns, they got on heels, they got on lipstick. Me, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. Anytime I've ever put on a gown and high heels and lipstick, it's because I was trying to be sexy or have some sort of sex appeal. It's something that women do. So to suggest that a little boy, 5, and it clearly says little boy, 5, 6, or 7 years old should be walking around dressed up like a grown woman. And if you look at it and like it, you might just be a pedophile and don't know it.
Well, you say y'all are out here confusing these young men, making them believe they're women. You have mentally challenged sons physically fighting women and their own mothers because they think they're equal. We don't need black leaders in our communities telling our young sons to be women.
We sure do.
Why would you support taking a boy's manhood before he even gets it?
Right. Why? How does it
support? And then you say LGBTQIA defines adults by their sexual preference. Now they're trying to convince us that it's okay to look and define children the same way. You a lie. I refuse to look at a child and tie them to a sexual preference or desire.
Exactly. Each one of those letters represents a sexuality. We should not be sexualizing children.
why do you tell your child if they're going to come to your house dressed like a man?
Because that's my son. That's my son. I'm the mother, right? And so I think that respect has to be mutual. I have a right, as the person that gave him life, the person that raised him, right, on my own, to request that if he's in my presence and it upsets me to see him dressed as a woman, to come to my house dressed as a man. Because if his issue is that he needs his mama and he don't want to lose his mama, I want my son. I don't want to lose my son.
Do you think your child has the right to self-define, to have a mind not controlled by mother?
He absolutely has a right to do that, but he also has a right to respect me as his parent. And it's not about hate, it's love. I just don't have to accept my son as a woman.
It is hate. I think
you
it's hate.
believe it's hate because
It's
I'm not
hate.
doing what you want me to do.
It's not about you doing what... It's not about at all about you doing what I want you to do.
Have I ever told you that I hated you?
It's about... You might as well have.
Okay.
So let's take the whole dressing as a woman thing out of it. Let's say that I was sitting across from you, the perfect son you could have imagined. Some of the things you have said to me are hateful.
You're living a promiscuous
she said to you, I hope you burn in hell.
Yeah.
When I said that?
She said you're gonna burn in hell.
When did I say that?
Several times. I
That's a
have the
lie.
text messages.
Please show the text message. I've never said that.
Has she said you'll end up dead just like your father?
She did say that.
That's not what I said.
She did.
Quote it.
By the way, I'm very sorry for your loss, both of you.
Thank you.
She isn't sorry for my loss. My dad was brutally murdered. If we're gonna talk about it, let's go ahead and talk about it. My dad was brutally murdered. He was shot in the head. When he got shot in the head, he hit the pedal on the gas. The car crashed. My dad burned alive in a car. 2 days after this, my mother was on social media. A person of some famous stature had tweeted some condolences about my dad. Angela then goes on her Instagram. We good. We don't need your condolences.
What I came here for, right, is for us to try to find some type of peace and solace to be able to move forward.
Peace and
But
solace of what?
First, we have to be honest.
I quite frankly don't think you care
First,
about me.
we have to be
There's
honest.
Nothing,
I don't think you care about me.
Can I get a turn to speak?
I don't think you care
Angela was
about
talking
me.
this whole time.
Yeah,
I don't think you care
If I
about
may.
me.
Yes, go ahead.
Regardless of the fact, I'm here to find some peace and solace. 2 days before we agreed to come on this show, you were just in my messages saying, that's why you're motherless and fatherless now. Now all of a sudden you care.
Why would you be saying these things to your child?
Because he's disrespectful. This is the same child that
But
calls
you're
me.
the adult.
Excuse me, you asked me a question. I'm answering. This is the same child in my home calling me bitches.
I don't live in your home
Excuse me, when you were, even now it's even worse. Telling me that he wished I was dead instead of his dad.
I wish it was you.
It's his mindset that is an issue to me. Me trying to explain to him about respecting himself, regardless of what you choose to do. Okay, you want me to accept you gay? I can do that. You want me to accept you dressing like a woman? I can do that. What I cannot accept is you not having respect for yourself and showing this provocative, promiscuous behavior online.
You just contradicted yourself.
Tell me how you're a woman.
I don't need to.
I have 3 sons.
Who all
You have
had
one
issues with
mother.
you. I would
You
rather
got
be
one
motherless
mother.
10 times
You are.
over
You
than
are.
deal with a toxic
I would
parent.
Stop talking.
This May.
I'm here, so I want to dig into it.
Well, you're barely here because you tried to leave already.
A Dr. Phil intervention.
I was addicted to heroin, that I was getting beat up, that I left my kids. What do you need to understand?
Like never before.
Are y'all smoking and drinking together?
Yes.
Why is she saying yes and you're saying no?
I don't smoke or drink. I'm the outsider watching them two connect.
I'm not sure that you guys are ready to change.
Be specific.
Oh, I've been specific. I gave you a specific assignment that you just blew off. Is there anything that I say to you that you're not going to argue with?
I'm going to argue what I feel is right.
Is there confusion about biology in this family? Is this your biological father or not?
I've never heard my wife say Ariel could be another man's daughter. That hit the nerve.
I can leave and you can finish it with them.
You do whatever you want.
This May. Only on Dr. Phil.
You just contradicted yourself. You said, if he wants to be gay, I can accept that. If he wants to dress as a woman, I can accept that. But you just earlier said, no,
So
if he's going to come around me,
I didn't
he needs
say
to
I
dress.
can't accept that. I said, you want me to accept that? I said, okay. I said, and then now this. I didn't say I accept it. I'll never accept him acting as a woman, because he's not a woman. I don't have to live in that delusion.
You understand.
What makes you a woman?
Because I want to be one.
So I want to be a billionaire. I want to be his wife.
Work to be.
Can I be your wife?
Got one. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Tell me how you're a woman.
I don't need to. I don't need validation from you or anybody else. You can't name one time I've ever asked you to call me a woman.
You can't, because you know I'm not.
But I didn't ask you to.
Okay, don't.
You know why? Because I don't need that validation from you as a human being.
Great.
Angela is gaslighting to her conservative people who agree with her, and she's gaslighting and she's trying to make it seem as if, oh my God, I just want Javian to respect himself, and I don't want Javian to do this, and you know, him dressing like a girl, and you're making about this whole sexuality thing, which it is not.
It is for me.
Okay, that's what it's about.
Okay. He's the one that actually wants to encourage his LGBTQPIA plus base.
We don't need your approval.
No, it's about you.
We don't want it.
It's not
I don't want your approval.
You'll never have it.
I don't need it.
You won't get it.
I don't need it.
You won't get
I'm
it, sir.
a full, complete
You won't
human
get
being.
it, sir.
And you don't.
won't
I don't
get
need it, ma'am.
I have 3 sons.
Who all
you
have
have
had
one
issues
mother.
with
You
all have
can't
had
speak
issues
for
with-
them.
I would
You
rather
got
be
one
motherless
mother.
10 times over than deal with a toxic
I would
parent.
rather have
I would
the 2
rather have
sons
my
that I
father
have
be
than
in the
one that's
grave.
mentally
I would rather
incapable
have
of
my
making a
father be in the
decision as
grave,
to
and I
whether
would
he's a
rather
man
not
or a
have a
woman.
Okay, y'all
relationship
know.
with you.
Well, too
hold
bad.
on.
Be toxic.
Stop
Too bad.
talking.
Oh,
You didn't hear this, but I had a conversation with your mother before you came out.
Tell me
and
about
she
it.
said, you know, what is this that my son thinks he wants to be a woman? And I said, well, you know, interestingly, there's a very serious study by the Cleveland Clinic that has done MRI scans on transgender persons that has determined that the brain of a transgender person is much more similar in function and profile if you are a transgender woman, that your brain is much more aligned functionally with a straight female than it is
But
with
if
a
you
male.
don't mind me saying something really quickly on behalf of my community,
Well, I feel like you got to speak for your
I don't need you to interrupt
Speak for yourself. I'm not up here speaking
I'm
for
speaking
Trump.
for myself.
You hear what your
and my
mom
community.
trying to work out.
Because when I hear an
And that's
ignorant
the
bigot,
thing.
I feel the need
That's
to
the thing.
speak
That's
for
the
myself
thing.
and my
And
community.
you're only a
Can you
bigot when
please
you
not
don't agree
interrupt
that a
me?
man
I haven't
can't
got a chance
become
to
a
talk
woman.
for 5 seconds.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
a bigot and
I
you're
haven't got a
mentally
chance
ill,
to talk.
son.
let us-
You are
let-
mentally
come on.
ill,
That's-
son.
allow-
You're mentally ill,
I'm
son.
rich
and
as
you
well.
You and I are
I'm
having a
doing great.
If you rich,
conversation.
why you sitting up
I'm
here with
successful.
tissue in your bra?
I don't have tissue in my bra.
You don't have
Why?
tissue in your bra.
No, I don't. You want to look at it?
You're right.
Okay.
So if I could get
You're
a chance
right.
to
Please,
speak for a second.
Yeah, you
allow
want me
this-
to sit on this stage and be convinced that I'm sitting here talking to a man and it's
She's
my
gonna
son
embarrass
sitting
herself.
right
Go right
across
No,
ahead.
from
but I
me.
do want you to respect
With Franks and
I do
beans.
want you to respect my right to finish this conversation
Okay,
string
go ahead.
here. I'll let you speak without interruption.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Angela, for me, is a brick wall. Like, if you don't agree with what she agrees with, it's very hard getting through. I've been trying to do this for 13 years. Imagine what you can do in 40 minutes. And this is all respect to you. I feel like in order for you to help people, people have to want to be helped. So just speaking for myself, it's a lot less about the science of who I am and as far as my DNA, who I am. You don't have to like me or agree what I do, but as a human being, respect is all it really calls for. You don't have to think I'm a woman. That's cool, that's fine. You can think I'm mentally ill, that's cool, that's fine.
I know you're mentally ill.
What I was telling
So
you
again, we
is that I
pushing
was
liberal
explaining to
agendas.
her that this is
If
not
I
a
had
mental
known
illness,
that I
that
was
there's
gonna come on
actually
this show and have a doctor
differences
try to
within the
convince my
body
son that he's
for
a woman,
someone
I
that
would've
feels the
never
way
came.
you do. It's not just in your
Got it.
mind.
But regardless,
we have to take a break. Coming
It's
up,
in his
Angela
mind.
says what scares her the most is JB's influence on her 16-year-old daughter. Is she really falling into negative habits, or is Angela overreacting to normal teenage behavior? Well, we'll meet her and find out when we come back.
My mom is worried that I'm influenced by my brother's way of thinking. My mom is a conservative and she is on the Trump train. We got in a disagreement about abortion and she smacked me because she thought that I was being disrespectful.
We're talking tarot. This is the secret to your tarot fortune with fortune teller to the stars, Angie Bannicky.
What can tarot cards tell us?
My husband is just a full-blown skeptic.
Honestly, I wasn't a big believer either. I think that's what brings my unique perspective.
I've got a secret with Robin McGraw.
I am dying for you to read my cards and answer one question for me.
Okay, let's look.
Available on Stitcher and Apple Podcasts.
I've been attacked for my social media. I've been attacked for being, a black Republican. I've been attacked for supporting the president that I choose to support. I thought that was all about American freedom. The attacks are not going to sway my belief. I mean, I just don't believe that a man can never become a woman or that a woman can never become a man. It's just, I don't see gorillas out there doing it. I don't see dogs out there doing it. It's just not a part of nature.
Well, JB says her relationship with her mom has been destroyed forever because of Angela's conservative beliefs. And while JB knows that she was no saint growing up, she says her mom was demonic. Now, JB's youngest sister, Imani, says that she's bearing the brunt of Angela's explosive anger. Listen to what she has to say.
I've witnessed a lot of fighting throughout the years between my mother and my brother. And somehow his sexuality was always brought up. My mother is disappointed in how he is presented on the internet. So my mother saw JB twerking and she texted the entire family and basically told us not to support his behavior on the internet. My mother has called my brother derogatory terms in terms of his sexuality as a way to almost condemn his behavior. So my mom is a conservative and she is on the Trump train. We got in a disagreement about abortion and she smacked me because she thought that I was being disrespectful in our conversation about it. She does have an issue with small children being exposed to the gay lifestyle. My mom is worried that I'm influenced by my brother's way of thinking, and she's worried that it would rub off on me and that I'll adopt the same mindset. My mom has been an emotional bully to us in the past. She'll tell me that she's the only person that loves me or she's the only person that ever cared for me. My mom will argue with anybody in the family, regardless of if they're a bad child or a good child. She will argue with anyone.
Well, Imani, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. You're kind of caught up in this whirlwind of all this conversation and debate.
Right.
And I'm sure you've been listening to some of this. If you've been within a mile of the stage, you couldn't help but hear it. What did you want to add to all this?
So I just want to bring it back to the central focus of that this is a parent-child relationship. So regardless of how my brother identifies, he is still a human being. And there's no reason, there's no circumstance that I can ever think of on this entire earth for someone to use the passing of someone's parent as a way to condemn their lifestyle. Regardless of if there was an argument, whatever names have been called, whatever has happened in the past, that is a line that you simply cannot cross.
I think you should sit over here. You're articulating this very well, and nobody interrupted you. I don't know. So that's great.
So I have to say something.
You said that since your mom got on the Trump train, that they've had problems. What do you mean?
Don't say anything. Hold on. First of all, let me clarify something. I think that it's disrespectful to imply that as a black woman, I can't decide who I want to support when it comes to politics. And I think that this whole issue about being black and supporting Trump, I have my reasons why I chose to, because y'all keep pushing this issue. Javian mentioned it about me being a Trump supporter. She mentioned it about me being a Trump supporter. And here's the thing. If Javian is saying that he wants me to accept the fact that he's LGBTQA in his community, then that kind of goes both ways. You have to accept the fact that I supported a pro-life president. You have to accept the fact
when have you ever sent me back?
Please let her finish.
Online, they got the video. I sent it in. When you were online talking about me, you said I'm a dumb Trump supporting bitch. That's what you said. To be condemned for supporting the candidate of your choice, I don't believe in killing babies.
Imagine being condemned for loving the person of your choice.
Transitioning children. It's not about loving the person of your choice. It's about your behavior, and it's about the fact that you want to force me to believe that the son that I gave birth to is a woman. I don't feel like I have to partake in that delusion.
That's not what
Excuse
this is
me,
about.
I'm not done.
That's
Well, you have to be done at some point. You have to let someone else speak.
Regardless of
why are you talking about it?
Regardless of if you believe Javian is a woman or not, it's about the respect that you can have.
You want me to lie to
Javian.
myself?
You don't know. It's not about that. It's about how you use his sexuality to condemn him. That's not okay.
If Javian wants respect, then he has to give respect in order to get it. I'm not kissing Javian's ass just because he's my son. I got 3 sons.
Making an effort to repair your relationship is not kissing someone's ass.
Well, I'm here.
You cannot yell people down and win.
It's not yelling people down.
You
it's
have
the
to
fact that you
allow
brought somebody on this show that's going to try to tell me my son is a woman. He's not a woman.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
He's threatened to kill you with a shotgun.
He even held up the shotgun barrel and said, if this has your name on it.
Your behavior's outrageous.
I feel like I want to lock myself in a closet once I feel myself getting angry.
That's tomorrow.
Well, Ashley Marie Preston is a cultural commentator, trans activist, and first trans woman to become editor-in-chief of a national publication, and first openly trans person to run for state office in California. Now, she says Angela's fear of seeing JBs with a handbag is going to put JBs in a body bag. And the reason that she's saying this, in my opinion, is really just looking at the statistics of the pressure and the depression and the high suicide rate among those that live in this community. And she's joining us now. Thank you so much for being here again. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to all of this. Help us out here, Ashley Marie.
I think it's heartbreaking all the way across the board. Because Angela may not know this, but I know that she started following me in 2018. So part of me knows that despite what she's saying about how she's not going to be convinced otherwise, she is invested in understanding not just her daughter, but the transgender community. You may be able to dominate the dialogue, but you will not control the outcome of the message that we spread today.
You cannot yell people down and win.
It's not yelling people down, but it's the fact that you brought somebody on this show that's going to try to tell me my son is a woman. My son is not a woman.
No,
and I'm
mommy,
going to stand on that. You can get all the transgenders in the world. He's not a woman.
If you're secure in your belief, let someone else speak. You're being very disrespectful.
But you want me to listen to somebody that's telling me my son is a woman.
Allow someone else to speak.
Please hear me, because believe it or not, contrary to what you may think or believe, I'm rooting for both of you. I am invested in the relationship that you have with your daughter because according to
you can't
a survey,
you can't be because hold on. You can't be interested in me and him having a relationship because first you're disrespecting me as a parent.
I am not disrespecting you.
I feel as though
I am not disrespecting you.
Because
I gave you credit for what you're doing. No, you're not.
When you tell me that this is my daughter, when you tell me that this is my daughter,
you're bulldozing. I'm not telling you anything. I'm acknowledging who she is.
You're not.
I'm not. Me calling her is about honoring and respecting her personhood.
You're irrelevant. I came here to see Dr. Phil. That doesn't matter to me.
Parenting, can we please
according to, I wanted to
go ahead. I ask you to come here, and I'm going to give you the respect that you deserve. I ask you to come here, and I'm not going to let you get shouted down. Say what you would like to say.
So according to a study that was done by the National Center for Transgender Equality and the National LGBTQ Task Force, so when there is a parent or parents or loved ones in the home who do not support the identity of the transgender individual, 51% have attempted suicide, 48% have become homeless, 47% have become addicted to drugs and substances, and 29% have actually had to engage in sex work.
You're not going to guilt me into accepting him as a woman because you feel like if he makes a bad decision, that it's going to be my fault. No. If he were to listen to me, I wouldn't have to worry about those things because let's talk about some of those numbers that you mentioned. Even when Joe Biden, during his presidential debate, was talking about legalizing young children transitioning, he said his reason was because so many transgender women of color had been murdered. And he said, I think the number now is up to 17. Now, as a leader in the black community, there are thousands of black men that have been murdered. But you won't hear Joe Biden talk about that because those black men did not have a wig on. So I'm not going to elevate. Excuse me. I'm not done.
Politics.
I'm not going to elevate. I'm not going to elevate the issue of transgenderism over black men because at the end of the day, y'all still black men.
Gender identity is who I go to bed as, and sexual orientation is who I go to bed with. So the fact that you're making assumptions about children's genitals or your child's genitals, that is way out of bounds. At this moment, you have a decision to make as to whether you're willing to do the internal work to silence that inner critic that's making you force your children to carry your shame.
Okay, we're
going to take a break. We'll be right back.
From my understanding, Javian likes to dress up. He likes the way that he transformed. I mean, I've seen pictures of Javian, and he is absolutely stunning. I've been taken aback by some of the photos that I've seen because he was so beautiful. He always looked like his mom, kind of like my twin. I don't know what I'm seeing, man. That's why I'm here today. Maybe you guys can help me figure it out.
Okay, Angela says that JB's has warped Imani's mind into thinking dressing like a female is okay. You're concerned about the influence, right? And does she need to be concerned about influence here? You seem to be very self-possessed.
Smart as one.
Right. I am very outspoken and very opinionated in my own right about things like gender identity and how she should parent, because bullying your children emotionally and calling them all types of names is not preparing your child for life. That's only going to damage them. And I don't understand why, as a parent, you cannot realize that fact.
So I would say that you have done very extremely well. I've raised you on my own. Children are different, okay? You and Javian were not the same children, okay? Y'all didn't have the same struggles. Y'all didn't have the same issue. So your upbringing is going to be different.
I do want to acknowledge that you've done a lot of things right, and I say that because sitting next to you is a very fine example. Is doing very well, as you say. I think I would say the same thing sitting across from you here. There are a lot of really fine qualities here that you have to respect. There's a strength of character here, a conviction, and a lot of this strength has to come from the role model that you provided of conviction and standing up for yourself. You've done a lot of things right along the way, and I hope you're proud of that, and I hope you're proud of a lot of the strength and conviction that you see sitting next to you and across from you. I hope that, as Ashley Marie is saying, that you would want to be a source of strength for both of your children, whether these two children, whether that you agreed with everything either of them chose in their lives or whether you didn't.
This show isn't about, I don't love you. I love you.
I don't think
well, you don't have to, but I'm telling you. So you will hear it from me, and so the whole world will hear it. I love my son, Javian. And what I want you to understand is that so this is what you don't get. I think that
I'm the one that don't get it.
I think that these feelings are going both ways. No. I think that you feel like you don't have a mom, and I feel like I don't have a son. When you are telling me that this is you now, you don't understand. I want my son. Like, you're taking somebody away from me. You don't want to be my son, but you want me to be your mother.
I don't want you to be my mother.
Okay, but I still want you to be my son.
Wow.
So then make the necessary changes to make it that way.
So change
it's that simple.
What changes are going to be made?
Maybe stop trying to bulldoze us and dismiss our emotions like you have done on this stage.
It's not about trying to bulldoze you or dismiss your emotions. It's the fact that I'm not going to let anybody tell me that my son is a woman.
It's the outside
you
of
bulldoze.
that.
You even with me.
I've never asked her to call me a woman, and that's one of her
him.
main argument points. She can't name one
You
time.
just told me to call you JB's. Who is JB's?
JB's. That's my name. That's what I go by.
Did you change it legally?
I'm about to.
Okay.
How can we start to get this family on the same page? We'll talk about that next. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today. You wanted to say something?
Yes. So what I wanted to say was, Angela can sit across from me right now and try to make up whatever excuse in the world she could want to for me and her relationship. Let's give it to her for argument's sake. I was a horrible child. Angela has 4 other children who she has all gotten into it with.
They're not here.
Who she has all.
They're not here.
They wrote
let
statements.
this child, let them speak for themselves. You can't speak for them.
Okay, so there's an old saying, where there's smoke, there's a fire. If Jay was the problem, Jay wants to be respected as a woman. Jay is an issue. Jay is disrespectful. Take Jay out of it. Jay was the problem.
Right.
Angela has had some type of emotional trauma or issues with all of her
let
children.
me say something. As
I'm
a
not the
parent
only
that
one.
has raised children on her own for 20
if you
years,
wanna
there
say
are
I'm the
going to
problem,
be some
what's the problem with
instances
him?
when you and your children don't
Everybody's
get
the problem
along.
but you.
Why are you trying to make it
Dominate.
seem like this has been every single day of our lives? You all are taking instances
No, but it
when,
has been
excuse
repetitive.
me, I'm raising children. There are issues. When you raise 3 teenage boys by yourself, there are issues. So we have had to address issues
What's
as
the
a
money issue?
family. If anybody in here is a parent,
She
tell me
threatens
that
my
you have not had
education.
issues.
Literally, as a punishment, she threatens my education.
No, I told you I was going to withdraw you out of
She
school.
threatened to withdraw me from school as punishment.
I did.
She threatened
Not
to
as punishment.
withdraw me from my debate
Excuse me.
council as punishment.
Not as punishment.
She has taken my
You were
technology and made me
talking
take
about- you
late
were gonna
penalties because she didn't want to give me
you
my
were gonna
computer to do my
you were
homework.
punished for
I thank you for your
activity that I paid
comments.
for. That's what you're
I thank
talking
you for
about.
your comments. Would you like to make a final comment?
I've talked to so many mothers of deceased Black trans women who ask themselves and sit around wondering what they could have did different to bring their baby back. And the miracle in this moment is that you don't have to wonder. If you have an open heart and an open mind, you have the capacity to build something much stronger than it was before. And so I really just ask Angela to really just look within herself, recommit to that bond that she has as a mother the first day they brought her child home and placed her in her arms, and think about what she wants the future outcome to be.
Who is her?
Yeah. I couldn't,
For one thing,
I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that any better. You always stay calm with a clear message. Thank you. I want to be supportive of this platform. I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to you, to trans activist Ashley Marie Preston. For information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Thanks for being here.